How do you handle difficult situations? What do you do when you're faced with a challenge, a conflict in a relationship, be it personally or professionally, or perhaps in your business, or perhaps it's just dealing with life? Life ain't easy at times. It can be very, very challenging, to say the least. And I'm not here to attempt to oversimplify it and give you all sorts of comments that, oh, it's your attitude. Yes, we all know that our attitude, the perspective, the way we look at a problem truly is the sole determinant of whether or not we experience it as a catastrophe that knocks the heck out of us, debilitates us, and there's no solution, or whether it's an opportunity to grow, something that we can transform into a project, and ultimately a solution that works, that gives us value. You know this. So first step would be, think about some of your current challenges, situations. And usually we think of a problem as something with no solution, something where we're stuck. I'm not talking about the steps or the strategies. Whereas a project, still it's a challenge. It's something we're working on, something that we have the confidence that somehow, some way we can figure out. Would you agree? Have you noticed this? So right here, right now, I'd like to share with you a framework of 5 steps that I have used for decades in the Silva method immersion of life and intuition system. And throughout this time, people have found it very helpful. We spent 4 days building on this. And I sincerely hope that it will serve as a roadmap for you, get you started, something you can take away with you. So think about some of your current challenges. So there are 5 steps in this framework. Number 1, it's necessary, not important, necessary to first acknowledge the current reality, the circumstances, the challenge, however horrible you may find it, or maybe it's minor. One of the myths about being positive and living a more positive, more fruitful life that goes back into the 70s that I admit I experienced in my early days with the Silva method in 71, that people thought you're going to be negative if you acknowledge and you reckon, oh, that's, problem. No, not at all. The only way we can do anything, whether it be therapeutically, whether it be in personal development, whether it be in our business, is we've got to first what? Identify the challenge, the problem, the situation, the circumstances, and take a look at it. We don't want to make it worse than it is. We don't want to wallow in it, right? You don't want to wallow in it. And certainly you don't want to worry in it. And let me tell you, I've been there, done that myself. I admit, when I first started in this space back in 1971, I was a professional worrywart. I was probably CEO of the club, Worriers Anonymous. Now I'm only a member, and I say I'm only a member because I'm not perfect. But have you not noticed yourself in your own life that worry is like a rocking chair? It does nothing for us, no improvement. In fact, it usually makes it worse, and usually causes us to get stressed. It's like a rocking chair, it gives us something to do, but doesn't get us anywhere. So the danger with wallowing in it, the danger with worry, is that we get into a state of scarcity, a state of being that's survival oriented, a state of being that's full of stress, and then our body chemistry takes over with an overwhelming amount of stress hormones. And then that becomes a big obstacle. We get debilitated, we're tired, we have sleepless nights, can't think, we lose our cognitive function. You've been there? Can you relate? So the first step is to aim, do your best to be like a journalist, a reporter, where you're looking at the way things are and you're observing with no emotion, no attachment. You're looking at what's wrong, what's the challenge, what's the difficulty, and you're acknowledging what I'll call the current reality, the way things have been up to now. Notice the emphasis on have been, because our intention is, you want your intention to be, it's a temporary challenge, a temporary condition that I have been experiencing up to now, and now I'm going to do something about it and figure this out. So step number 1, acknowledge the current circumstances. Step number 2, you then need to have the contrasting outcome you desire, the end result you desire, the way you want to be. And sometimes you may not have a very specific outcome, but you have an intention. You have a big picture. You have a vision, your life vision, or ideally, your best self, your best life. It's a good beginning. And this is very important because you're acknowledging the way things have been, and then you're looking at step number 2, the outcome, what you want, the end result, or your intention. And as you contrast it, that creates emotion. And you want to elevate your emotions in a positive, hopeful, caring way. Like, yes, this is what I'm aiming for. And when we do that, it builds desire. It builds momentum. It kicks us in the butt. And then we take action. Because we look at, oh my God, this is the way I've been. This is what I want. Whew. That's important. Even though you don't know yet what steps to take, it's important to at least know where you're going, the direction, the goal, the outcome, whatever you want to call it. Step number 3, third step would be, you got to have a plan, a strategy. I've been working in this space nearly 50 years, and it's another myth that people, looking for magic. People, it's one of the challenges with The Secret and the law of attraction. It's beautiful, by the way, and it's a great movie, by the way, and the premise and everything about it is inspiring, except it leaves out a lot of the steps. And if people misinterpret and don't understand the teaching, they think, I could just sit on my butt and poof, like magic, it'll happen. Not so. You know this. Come on. You want to have what? You want to have a plan, a strategy, tactics. So that might require consulting with a coach, a mentor, reading a book, attending a personal development seminar or professional development seminar. It may mean calling a dear friend or asking somebody for help who's been there and they've achieved a degree of success, so that you can then fine-tune a plan, a strategy, steps you're going to take. And it's important in step number 3 to be flexible, because things change, especially today. The world is changing so fast, not just technology, that we need to be ready to move and to adjust. It's like sailing. If you've ever been sailing, you got to constantly adjust your sail to get the right amount of wind so that you get to where you want to go. Fourth step, you then want to what? You got acknowledging the circumstances, knowing what you want, your outcome, step 2. Step number 3, a plan, a strategy. And this is another, step 4, that I've observed. I've worked with a couple 100,000 people in live training. That's my specialty. It's what I've been doing. I started when I was 19. I've been so blessed and fortunate to be part of a global movement that started it all back in '66, where we've been in 111 countries. I've been to 27 of them. And I got to tell you, I hear too often this question, that people, again, sit back passively, hoping, waiting that something will happen. Like, yes, the universe is going to move me. But understand what I'm saying. Yes, sometimes when we're in flow, it seems like the universe has got our back. However, you got to what? Can you guess? Take action. Step 4. You got to do something. And that taking action might be relates to step 3, taking a course, reading a book, watching some videos, asking for help, working with a coach or consultant, taking a personal development program. Got to do something. And once you're clear about your goal, your outcome, what typically happens is you start to have ideas. Maybe in your dreams. Maybe you have a flash of insight. Maybe you're going for a walk and you have a flash of insight, an idea. So it's important to what? Trust your intuition. It's important to trust those ideas, because when you're clear about your intention, when you know what you want, whatever you give attention to, you give energy to. And whatever you give energy to will grow and multiply. So you will most definitely start having ideas, flashes of insight. You might even experience spontaneous coincidences, so-called meaningful coincidences, synchronicities. Trust them. You have everything to gain. You got to take action. The risk is you made a mistake. Give yourself permission not to be perfect, and learn from it and adjust your sails as you go. Step 5, and finally, as you make progress, even itty bitty progress, celebrate it, appreciate it. Yes. Depending on your spiritual persuasion, you might say, thank you, God, thank you, Mom, thank you, universe, thank you, source, someone, something. Be thankful. It's another big mistake I've observed in working all these years with people, and myself too, that sometimes you say, I could have done better, I did good, but I should have done. And if you start doing that, you feel bad. It's like shaming yourself. And that will create a scarcity mindset. That will create stress. That will make you feel unworthy. So please, 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 I urge you, even if it's a little bit of success, celebrate it, feel good about it. Yes, high five it, feel whatever it takes. The surest way to have more, the surest way to make progress and continued progress is to first appreciate what you do have. Yes, I'm talking about gratitude and appreciation. It is a necessary foundation. So let's review. We're looking to what? Convert, transform problems into projects. And then we want to transform them into what? Solutions, arrive at a solution. So in this framework, 5 steps. Number 1, acknowledge the current reality, the circumstances. Be truthful, be honest, tell the truth. Number 2, you want to what? Have a goal, an outcome, a desired outcome, the end result. Be clear. And maybe you might want to just have a big picture, intention. 3rd, have a plan, a strategy. Develop one. Do whatever you do. Do some research and studying to develop your plan and your strategy. And step number 4, take action. Trust your intuition. Trust the synchronicities that you'll experience invariably, or the meaningful coincidences. And step number 5, as you're making progress, even if it's just slowly but surely, it is a process. Transformation is a process. It's not a quick fix. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes repetition. Celebrate even a little bit of progress, acknowledge it, feel gratitude. It's the surest way to have more. Fair enough? You know, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments. You can say something meaningful, wherever there's room below to make a comment. If you're finding this helpful, and I hope you do, and I hope it makes a big difference for you, please share it with family, friends, or anyone you think could benefit from this. And if you're watching this, whether it be on my Facebook page or the YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate if you haven't already subscribed, do subscribe. That helps me get the word out. And when you subscribe, you'll also get ongoing announcements as I create new content for you. And if you really want to pursue more, check out our website, Silva Method of Connecticut. And maybe one day I'd be thrilled to meet you, spend some time with you. Thanks so much for watching.